Yeah, there was corruption there, but
Okay, we're not having a podcast here. So when you say that, you must be able to say, how am I gonna be able to prove this?
we're not having a podcast. Yes.
Yeah, but when you
it's been
just say, yeah, because I mean, we're doing serious things.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
It's been
what supporting evidence would you have that it was used to destabilize the students who were holding legitimate protests? I mean, there are still some of those students that are traumatized from what happened during Fees Must Fall.
You know, I'll only speak to the corruption that happened there. There was looting of funds, but if I may say, legitimate, if there was any project to that effect of Fees Must Fall by crime intelligence, I don't think it would have targeted students of, you know, the students that have the trauma and whatnot.
But how can you say that? Because they were traumatized. So it's either you're saying that there was a project or there wasn't a project to target and destabilize, actually harass. I mean, it was terrible what they did to students. So there was or there wasn't, or you don't know.
No, destabilize, I don't agree with that. And as I say that, there are already publications to that effect.
Okay, so I'm not asking, I'm saying you were there. Do you know anything about it? If you don't, let's just move on. Let's not do just a chat session like we're on a podcast. Do you have anything to support?
It's quite a difficult question, but let me put it this way. The Inspector General of Intelligence has investigated the abuse of funds regarding the Fees Must Fall, and he made findings to that effect.
Okay. And which report do you have? Can you refer us? Have you read that through the report of the Inspector General's report?
Yes, I read the report.
Is it a classified report?
I read the report. It was presented as well to the JSCI.
Okay, so it's not a classified report.
I believe that the EFF had the report. So, yes.
Okay, so it wasn't classified. That's why I was just asking if there was any other report. So, so we can move. Yes,
can move.
Let's answer the questions. If you don't know and we're not doing podcasts, okay? So let's just, if you're not sure, you don't know, let's just say, I really can't answer that without just us having a chill session. Let's talk about, there were also reports, and if you were there, you can talk to it, that the slush fund was also used to destabilize EFF during the local government elections in 2016, in KZN in particular.
No.
Do you know of any project
that
was happening?
Okay, I do not have knowledge of that.
Let's talk about the rape case that was opened against General Jacobs. Was the case closed off? Let's start off with, when was the case opened?
It was opened in 2010.
So up to now, there's been no activity on that case, as far as you know?
As far as I know, is that the case was, you know, investigated, and then the NPA decided to withdraw. Okay. But the victim has been complaining about even the way the matter was handled.
Okay.
And when the IG wanted to investigate the case, General Jacobs ran to JSCI as well as the president to try and neutralize that particular case. And if I may add, he even took the vetting file, which contained a docket of that case, out of vetting, which was a security breach, by the way, out of vetting, and then out of the vetting section, and then he locked it in his office.
Okay, so that information, I mean, we've seen it. How do we, so you say that, right? We here in this committee, when we go into deliberations, and I'm saying this, is that if there's anything that I have learned, is that anybody that works within our criminal justice system and all its entities, the most highest ranking officials have come here And the most evidence we have are sworn affidavits. And I don't know how our deliberations are going to go, because that's pretty much all we have. And on one event, we can have a whole lieutenant general will say the sky was orange on that day, another will say the sky was purple, and the other will say the sky was gray. And our job is going to have to be like, who's more likely to be telling the truth? So when you say that, is there anything else outside of a sworn affidavit that can support that process, and that is what happened with the case? So as the case stands, the NPA decided did not have, for whatever reason, not to prosecute.
There is, you will definitely get. And if I may say...
No, not we will definitely get. We're doing an investigation now. So tell us where we must go and get this information if that needs to happen, if you don't have access to it.
There's a station here where the case was opened. I can give you the case number.
No, we're not asking that, right? We're not disputing that a case was opened. The biggest story here and what you're saying is that there was interference, right? So I'm asking you, if you don't have the evidence, tell us what we are able to find out, because you said the docket was removed from the where it was supposed to be vetted. How can we verify that?
I can give you the names of people who can verify that.
Tell us now.
No, not here. Not here. Huh?
Why not?
No, because I don't want the people to be victimized.
Okay.
They'll be victimized.
Okay, so our legal team will take note of those names, and you're saying that we are able to follow up with them on the vet, because that's like typical interference.
Yes.
But we can't sit here and just have reports here and say this has happened, and there's no way of us being able to verify that information. So you're saying you have names of people who will be able to tell this committee, or we can contact, and I hope our legal team is taking notes, to tell the committee to confirm that there was some interference in accessing or getting hold of the file, right?
Yes.
So that's the issue there with General Jacobs. His name continuously comes up here in the Western Cape, and it also just appears that there seems to be some factional arrangement on how his matter has been dealt with, if it has. So let's move on with that. Let's talk about Honorable Ian Cameron's security assessment that you spoke about yesterday, but you also mentioned Honorable James.
Yes.
But we didn't. How did that even come about? Let's start off with, how did Honorable James, because I was shocked. I didn't know that she got an assessment, huh?
No.
So how, what was it, or what? Yeah.
No, I think there was a misunderstanding. I'm saying that Honorable James and somebody else, and I think there were another person, 3 people, were supposed to have security clearance done for them, including Mr. Cameron.
Okay, hold on. We're talking about security clearance or a security assessment?
Threat assessment.
Okay,
yes.
Because...
And then what happened is that Crime Intelligence decided that no, Honorable James and somebody will have their threat assessment done by the state security, and they will do Mr. Cameron's threat assessment, which is irregular.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
How did this even come up? Why did Crime Intelligence make a decision to do a security assessment? Just because they're members of the committee, or do you know?
I think they were engaging with General Skabane. I think he's head of security. Yeah.
Who was engaging with?
Crime Intelligence.
Okay. What I'm trying to determine,
yes, ma'am,
is who initiated this thing of doing a security assessment?
I wouldn't tell, because normally when you want a security assessment done on your life because you receive some threats, you normally ask for them to do, you normally report to say, no, I'm being threatened.
Okay.
And then they do security threat assessment, and then they, say, okay, maybe he needs bodyguards and whatnot and whatnot.
All right. So you're saying that it's generally instigated, or not instigated, initiated by the person. So if there was one for Honorable James, she's the one that was supposed to have saying, I need a security clearance. So you're saying there were 3 members. It was Honorable Cameron, Honorable James, and do you have the name of the other one?
Can I read you the letter, what it was saying, the information note?
Okay, yeah.
It's
Honorable part of your
Honorable Douglas. No, it's not part of my, I'm just reading it here. I'm reading it from my phone. On 6 September 2024, Division Crime Intelligence received a request from Chief of Security, Parliamentary Protection Services, Lieutenant General Sklavane, to conduct threat and risk assessment for 3 members of Parliament, namely Mr. Ian Cameron, Mr. Wesley Douglas, and Miss Derelene James.
Who's okay? Say those names again. So we know the 2.
Wesley Douglas. Yes, of MK Party.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's only EFF that's not in the mix. Okay. So you don't know how that information note came about.
I don't know.
And who sent it? So we need to find out from our side. This is when we would have needed a forensic investigator to go and find out who instigated it here, that we ended up with the information note and how these names came about. Okay, so from what you're saying, you've got the information note. We need a copy of that, right?
Yeah.
On our side, from Parliament, because it was Parliament's protection services, we need to know who asked him to do the security assessment. Now let's go to the actual security assessment.
Yeah.
It was irregular. You're saying that Honorable Cameron's security assessment was done by, so let's say it was all a legitimate request, right?
Yes.
You saying that Honorable Cameron's security assessment was done by a different agency?
So what SAPS did is that they refused to do one for Honorable James and Honorable Douglas, and referred it to state security. And then the one of Mr. Cameron was done by the SAPS.
Oh.
So the issue here is that all these 3 members should have had their...
No, but let us decide on what the issue is, and I'm asking the questions here. So do you know why SAPS refused to do an assessment on the other 2 members?
It was not within their mandate for all 3 members.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're saying you're saying that it was not in their mandate to do any 3, but they decided to do the 1 for?
Yes.
And you don't know why that came about?
Yes.
Okay. So that's something we need to determine.
Yeah.
Right? Both here, unless you have any other information, but we do need a copy of that information note, because this speaks directly to our terms of reference that speaks about members of Parliament being involved and irregularly or inappropriately influencing processes.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
When you start in fact, I think we go into podcast mode.
No. We're not changing any story. I was just about to say, in fact, somebody at counterintelligence saw this irregularity, and then I think they leaked this thing to a whistleblower, Miss Patricia Marshall.
Yeah, because I also got
yes, you see. So
counterintelligence.
Mr. Cameron has been attacking other senior managers of the police and protecting these particular ones. And I believe that is the reason why the security clearance was done for him.
How many security assessments were done?
I mean, security.
Do you know whether it was 1 or 2? There was apparently the file is also empty. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, the file was empty because the threats came from what was this, social media negative. So if people speak negatively about you on social media,
Okay.
and then it's a threat,
Okay,
which
let's not know.
Okay.
We're just going, we dealt with the issue. So, so the things that we need to follow up here as Parliament and our legal team is number one, and I hope they're taking note, is number one, how did Parliament's, what informed Parliament to make the request for the security assessment for 3 members? Because from what I understand, Honorable James doesn't know anything about it, but that's something for her to answer. Then number 2, who in SAPS Crime Intelligence made the decision only to do 1? Why they made a decision, and this doesn't, we don't need to have testimony here, but these are questions we should be able to ask, and we must get a written response from them. Otherwise, we are going to have a problem when we're doing our deliberations. Why it was done for only for 1 of the 3 members. And then who in counterintelligence leaked the information? Because also that is also incorrect for them to be leaking information to whistleblowers. It's very unnecessary because I'm sure there was other processes. Do you know who in counterintelligence leaked the information to a whistleblower?
Maybe I do not know, but as I said yesterday, that 3.4 of the Miss document says that you cannot use classification to hide corruption, malfeasance, as well as
we
criminality.
understand that. Where are you going with it?
So I don't know why
classified document.
I don't know why the crime intelligence person needs to be dealt with for leaking information about.
Not dealt with. I'm not saying, but I don't see why leaking it outside. And not raising it the matter internally, but then that's fine. You clearly trying to, it's fine. Let's leave it. Let's move on to, and then refer us to which part of act or regulations where members of Parliament's security assessment is not done by SAPS Crime Intelligence.
SAPS Crime Intelligence has SAPS itself has some document, I think, called the RIMAS. Yes. So that document will tell you who must get, who must the threat assessment done on.
Okay, so it's clear. It's what's the document called?
It's called RIMAS.
RIMAS. Okay.
Yes. So
I think our legal team is taking that.
Yes. So
okay, you've answered the
MP's
question. Thank you.
State security.
Thank you. Let's move on to the city of Joburg and this device that was bought. I don't know, and I thought our legal team would even lead with that evidence, because when we had Lieutenant General Sabia here, he said that that position was advertised.
Which position?
For the position that he occupied. He was interviewed by a panel. We had asked him, he said he was going to submit the advertisement. I don't know if we followed up and whether he had given us. You saying that it wasn't advertised?
No, I think that's for Mr. Mlandu.
Did you not
I'm talking about
the device at all?
No, I'm talking about the Divisional Commissioner for Crime Intelligence. I'm talking about the device grabbers which were bought.
So it was a different matter. It was not going down to the COJ, because I was getting a bit confused because we were reading too, and I'm like, How does he know so much about the COJ and we've got another, okay, that all makes sense. Okay, then I'm done. And then I'm going to have a lot of questions on the COJ because
Okay.
we have a lot of questions on the then mayor of COJ writing off on things. Thank you, Chair.